Hi Rosies, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a discussion video on something I've been struggling with for the past few months. I discussed it a bit in my getting a BTS ticket and weight loss and experience video, but this video is going to be me talking about me struggling with weight loss and feeling better in my body and just feeling better about myself in general. So I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit more about how it all started and kind of what it led to this point. And then I'll be talking about what I'm doing differently and all that stuff. So yeah, I think it all started when I was 13. I don't really remember much about what happened before that, but I do remember every lunch I would have in middle school, my dad would pack me a sandwich, a little chocolate treat, and a soda. And I think that was the moment where I actually started eating junk food a lot. When I was younger, like I'm gonna say 11 or 12 to under, I had a skinny stomach. I was eating better, I looked better, I felt better in my body. I actually wore a bikini when I was in that age range. I didn't really like wearing bikinis because I get really sensitive, as you guys probably know from my get to know me and interest video. I mentioned that. So I got really cold in it, so I didn't really like wearing it. But the point was that I was able to feel better in my body because I was really skinny and I didn't feel fat. I started drinking soda a lot, mainly when I was 13. It was so bad that I would drink 3 or more sodas a day. It was really bad. I was super hooked on it. My parents would tell me to stop, obviously, but then I didn't stop. I don't know why, I just liked drinking soda, and I was thinking in my head, I'll be fine in the next few months. I'll change my diet and I'll be fine. That obviously didn't end up happening. I kept eating junk food, which consisted of burgers, not so much hot dogs. I did eat fries. I drank soda, obviously. I had burritos. I would have a grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. That's basically what I would have every single time, which has the most calories on the menu, which is ridiculous. And I don't know how my body was able to handle that. So I would go to the doctor and they would tell me that I have high blood pressure because of it. I do have high blood pressure still, but back then it was really bad and I didn't do anything about it. And I thought I'd be okay later if I changed, but obviously every time I would think, okay, I'm gonna change tomorrow, the next day would come and I would just continue eating junk food. And I also ate ice cream along with that. For that point where I was at with kind of biggish thighs and a big stomach, it was really uncomfortable for me. And the sad part is I have all these jeans and all these clothes, but at one point I couldn't fit into them. So I would struggle to actually put it on my waist. I was able to put them on, but I couldn't button them or zip them, and it really sucked. Usually my friend Tori would help me find clothes because she's good at finding clothes for me with all the specs and stuff like that. So she would send me links and then I'd get them. So when they would arrive, I would try them on and I can't even get them on or have them put on properly. That's when I really knew something was wrong, when I couldn't even fit into jeans I used to fit in. I would go to the doctor every few months, not like every single day or like once a week. There was one point where I went to the doctor one week and then I had to go back the next week or 2 weeks later to see my progress because my doctor said that I need to start changing or something bad's gonna happen to me. And still in my teens, I didn't really think much of it. I'm like, I'm gonna change, it's fine. I'll be fine later when I'm like in my 20s or above. I'll be perfectly fine. Obviously that didn't end up happening. Recently when I went to the doctor about a few months ago, I would say, she did the usual checkup. We also have to like monitor other things because I am disabled. I did mention in the get to know me and my interest video, in that video where it's kind of a little bit depressing, I'm sorry about that. I talk about me being paralyzed and how I only have one lung that actually works properly and all this other stuff that I have issues with. They really have to watch like what happens to me really, because like something bad could happen because of that. It's been pretty dangerous for me. So when it came down to my health, like when I say health, people would think like, oh no, is something wrong with your health? Like, do you have something like, I don't know, like a disease or something else like that? I don't. It's just my weight is the problem. So when I say health, I mean weight. I I posted on Facebook that I need to focus on my health, and one person said, is there something wrong with your health? And I changed it to weight because I meant weight. So nothing's wrong with my health. It's just my weight is the problem. So I'm trying to get my stomach down and all that stuff. So when I heard that, I knew I had to start exercising. So what I did was I would take our walks, as you guys would know, because during my vlogs with Tori, we would go for my walks. I started doing that and it was fine, but I still had a big stomach because of it. So I didn't know why, because I would take a walk every single day for the past few months, maybe even a year, and my stomach still wasn't going down. When I was like in my teens, I didn't know how much I actually weighed. Once I started weighing myself, I just noticed my consumption of like junk food and stuff and how bad it was for me. I stayed at one weight for a while. I didn't really gain any other weight otherwise from what I was gaining. I stayed at one weight a really long time. It didn't really change. So before I started changing my diet and all that stuff, I weighed 140. It would fluctuate between 138 to 140, so it would always stay in that range. And that was kind of ridiculous because I look online and see what's the right weight and what's the weight that you should be at for a person your age and the person at your height. So I would put in my height and my weight currently and my age, and they would say I'm kind of overweight. I also went with my dad to his appointment to check his blood pressure, and my dad's blood pressure is at the right level. It's at 120. He's doing really well with it. And then they took my blood pressure the next time we went to have an appointment, because sometimes they would check my blood pressure, and that was also the other thing that's an issue. I had to get my blood pressure down, and my blood pressure was at 165 because I wasn't eating better at all. I've been exercising, but I didn't eat better along with it, and that was the other thing you need to do to lose weight and feel better. So I saw that number and my eyes went like wide open, because I know my dad's number compared to mine, and my number was so bad. My number was at heart attack and stroke level. I knew that if I didn't change my eating habits, that something bad was going to happen to me. So I went to the doctor, and this is the point where I really realized I had to do something about this. They checked my blood pressure. It was obviously at 165, and because like I don't like the thing on your arm that they take your blood pressure with, because I don't like hearing my own heartbeat. It freaks me out. So that would raise my blood pressure even more. So if it was at, let's say, 155 and the thing was on my arm and I was freaking out, it would be raised to 160 or 165 because of that. After they took my blood pressure, they talked to me about this, and they said, if you don't change your eating habits or your diet, you're gonna have to go on medication. And that was the breaking point for me, because when I get sick and I have to take like an Advil or something else, I can't take pills. I have a gag reflex. So when it's in my mouth, I feel like I need to spit it out, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Even if I have food or a drink with the pill, I know it's in my mouth, I know it's there, and I don't like that. So I cannot take pills for any reason. Doesn't matter what it is, I cannot take pills. Even when I'm sick, I decide to deal with the sickness and wait until I get better. I cannot take pills. I realized then that if I didn't change, I have to take medication, and I can't handle that. So that's when I realized I had to do something about it. So I did exercise a lot, obviously, like I said. At that point, I'm like, okay, I need to start changing right now, or something's gonna happen to me. So I started eating better, which involved fruit, because I love fruit, so fruit was totally fine with me. I ate apples, I ate strawberries, I ate grapes, I ate watermelon, I ate oranges, I ate tangerines. I love fruit. And I started eating some vegetables as well. I started eating more greens, because I know that's good. I started eating carrots and cucumbers. Usually, I would just have a plate of carrots and cucumbers and maybe some strawberries or watermelon, and that's all I would have for a while. So that really helped. And also I tried to eat smaller portions, because when I was eating junk food, I would almost like inhale my food, which was really bad. So I just realized in my head to just slow down, take smaller bites, and just kind of breathe normally and don't inhale everything. So that also helped. So eventually I started to notice a change in my stomach and my thighs. So I started weighing myself pretty much every single day that I've noticed. The number was at 138 to 140, like I said. And I also had a goal. If you guys have watched my vlogs, I have mentioned this before, I think. My goal was to weigh 120 pounds or so by my birthday, which is obviously past now. I stayed on that track for a while, so I was eating better, I was taking my walks, so I was exercising, and then I started weighing myself and I noticed some change. So I weighed 138 to 140. Then I noticed I went down to about, I'm gonna say, 132, and that made me more determined to lose more weight because I wanted to feel better in my body, and I haven't felt good in my body in about like 11 years at this point, or even younger, because I was 13 then when I started. When I saw the number go down, I had to keep at it for what I was doing. I just kept exercising, kept eating healthy, and it was so hard to stop eating the foods that I love. I love burgers and I love fries. I would have that almost like, not all the time, not every single day, but I would have it maybe once a week or once every few days. It was really bad. So there's been so many times that I've been tempted to have junk food. I go out to eat with my dad every week. We go out to eat once a week. And every time I sit down at a restaurant and I see on the menu that there's burgers and fries, I am so tempted to get it. But instead I choose something healthy because I know it's better for my health. So that has been the hardest thing I've ever had to do, was to stop eating the foods that I love and to start eating foods that I'm not a fan of, but I know they're good for me. I also enjoy smoothies too, so that's good because I know they're really good. So that's been the hardest thing, is to actually stop eating the foods that I absolutely love to actually feel better. I decided to not have a burger until my birthday. So at that point, because I did have a burger on my birthday, before then I haven't had a burger in months. I've had turkey burgers, but an actual meat burger I haven't had in a while. Then I had fries on 4th of July after a very long time, and it was so weird because I haven't had in so long, like probably 4 or so months. And I almost started crying because I was so happy. At one point, I at least wanted my weight to be under 130 pounds because I've always been in the 30s or sort of 40s area. So I knew once I got to the 20s area, I would feel better and I'd feel more accomplished and I'd feel like I actually did something really good, because it is really good to lose weight. So I kept eating better, obviously. I'm gonna say that a lot because I don't want to repeat myself a lot. So I'm just gonna say I kept eating better. Kept eating better, I kept exercising. And then I started to notice more of a change. So I weighed like 132. And then after a while of doing the same thing over and over, eating better and exercising, I noticed my weight was at 128 pounds. So that made me feel really good because I was getting towards my goal, for one, and also because I was losing more weight. And I don't know why it took me this long to actually do something about it, because I could have started doing this when I was 13, but I didn't think about it because all I wanted was junk food. It is so annoying because the food that is so bad for you tastes so good. And it really sucks, and that's what gets people hooked on it, and that's obviously what got me hooked on it. I also noticed at one point I was able to fit in my jeans again. Like, if you guys have seen my getting a BTS ticket and weight loss and experience video, I mentioned that I'm able to wear the jeans that I used to wear again, and I actually wore a pair of my favorite jeans in that video that I show, because before I wasn't able to fit in them. And now I'm able to fit in them, and I'm able to button them and zip them on my own without help, and I don't have to suck in my stomach, which I would usually have to do. So that made me feel really good because I love the ripped jeans that I wore in that video, and I'm so happy that I can wear them again. So then a few weeks later, or I think a month later, I think it was a month later, so I don't really remember, I went back to the doctor because they wanted to check my progress. So I was really nervous at this point because they also wanted to check my blood pressure too. So I have been losing weight. I've noticed because I would weigh myself every day. So I noticed that that really helped. So they put me on the scale and they weighed me, and it was less than it was before. And then the part I always dread is when they put the thing on your arm to check your blood pressure. And I always hate this part. Like I said, I don't like hearing my heartbeat. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. I really hate it, and I just want to like run out of there and never go back. So I knew my blood pressure was at 165. I knew that at least I had to make some progress because I knew my blood pressure was high the last time I got it checked. So I was really nervous. So the thing was around my arm. Absolutely hated it. I tried to breathe calmly because if I breathe rapidly, it'll, I guess, increase my heartbeat and then it'll raise my blood pressure even more. It really does freak me out. It really does. I absolutely hate it. So I tried to breathe calmly, think about happy thoughts, like me being at Disneyland because I love it so much. And then they would usually do it 3 times. So once it would check it, take about a minute of a break, then they do it again, take a minute of a break, and then do the last one. So every time the thing was wrapped my arm and was tightening up, I was so freaked out, but I tried to remain calm. Every time it stopped for about a minute, I could breathe a little bit better and realize like, okay, I have 2 more left. And then it happened. Then I'm like, okay, last one and you're done. Dealt with it. And then the results showed up. So yeah, again, my blood pressure was at 165. First number, if I can remember correctly, I think the first number was 157 because my mind and my body wasn't ready for the thing on my arm because I wasn't prepared for it yet and I wasn't used to it. So it went down a bit from 165 to 157. It was great. After it happened again and it took another minute of a break, the number ended up being 145, which is shocking to me because my blood pressure hasn't been that low in so long. That made me really happy, first of all. And then the third number, I think it went up to 151 because, again, the thing freaks me out on my arm. But then the person checking my blood pressure checked the numbers and she said, well, it's still a bit high. And I said, yeah, but it's at 145 and that's way better than it used to be. It went down 20. And I said, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing and it'll get lower. And she agreed with me. So I am so happy that my blood pressure is lower. And I can also tell it's lower because before I started changing my diet, I would lay in my bed when I'm trying to go to sleep and I would lay on my left side. And every time I tried to calm down, my heart would beat super fast. It was like bump, 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 bump. It was ridiculous and it was really uncomfortable for me and it took me a while to actually calm down. After I started changing my diet and exercising more and getting my blood pressure checked and noticing the number, when I laid in bed on my left side when I would go to bed, my heartbeat would be like bump, 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 bump. So I knew it was different and it sounded better and it was slowing down. So I knew I was making so much progress because of that. Since when I first started changing my diet up to now, there have been times still that I want junk food. I only had very few things. I had something from Jack in the Box, which I usually would. It wasn't like chicken strips and fries. It was just something else, but I haven't had it in a very long time, so it was fine. It's just been a while since I've had it, so it was okay. The other weird thing, I would also eat chocolate cake. Not like a whole cake, just a slice, but I would get it from the market right next to my college and I would have it and my stomach was able to handle it. This is before I changed my diet and my blood pressure went down. It was high at this point. I realized on my birthday I wanted to have a slice of cake because it's been a very long time since I've had a slice of cake. I ended up having this slice of cake the day after my birthday. I have a few bites and I eat more of it and then my stomach started to get really uncomfortable, I guess. It didn't feel like it used to. Like, I had the piece of cake and I couldn't finish all of it, and usually I'm able to finish it. And when I was younger, I was able to finish it no problem. So I couldn't eat the whole thing and I just sat there for a second and I was like, okay, my stomach feels really uncomfortable and I couldn't actually do much. It felt like I was sick. It felt like I needed to throw up. So I would lay on the ground and just kind of like relax and breathe and calm down. And this was 2 months ago. I just relaxed and just calmed my mind and tried to actually get whatever was in me, just to get it out. But I was near the toilet because I feel like I needed to throw up and I didn't end up throwing up, which is weird. So I went to bed that night and the next day I felt fine. I knew that slice of cake wasn't a good thing to have because my stomach was so upset. It was really annoying because I used to love cake a lot and I was able to handle it, but because I'm changing my diet and all that stuff, it was sad because I love cake and now I don't really have it that much. And obviously when you don't have something for a while, you just get used to it and then you'll end up not wanting the stuff you used to have. So now we're coming up to, like, as of right now, as I'm filming this, I'm doing okay with it. At the moment, I weigh myself pretty much every day, like I said. At the moment, I weigh 125. So in total, I have lost about, I would say 12-ish pounds, maybe a bit more. So yeah, I have lost weight. My stomach is a bit smaller than it used to be, which is great. My thighs, my left thigh is smaller than my right thigh for some reason. I don't know why, but it is smaller than it used to be, which I'm very happy about. And I would look at my stomach and it's a lot smaller, and I just feel a little bit better in my body. It's not like it is when I was like 11 where I could fit in a bikini. I'm not at that point anymore, or at the moment, but I feel a little bit better in my body. It's not like I feel like 100% better, but I'm getting there. I still have a stomach. It's not as big, but I still have one. I'm still embarrassed to actually like wear a bikini because I don't want people looking at my stomach, and it makes me feel really uncomfortable. I started wearing one pieces because I started gaining a stomach over the years, and I don't want people to see that, even though it's really hard to go to the bathroom in it. I thought about wearing like some shirt over like the top half of me and then just shorts because it's easier to go to the bathroom. But for now I just wear one pieces. For right now I am doing okay. And also the good part is too, when I was 13 I would have a lot of acne on my face. My face was completely covered in acne. It was awful. And now my face doesn't look as bad. It looks a lot better. There's still maybe I guess some, because there are times I do drink soda. Not all the time. I drink soda very rarely now. Only mainly when I go out to eat with my dad, which is once a week. But my face isn't covered in acne like it used to be. So I'm really happy about that. I have a clearer face. My stomach has gone down. My thighs have gone down a bit. I just mentally, I feel better. I just feel like I'm sort of in a better place than I used to be. I'm actually listening to my mind and my body now. When I say like, okay, take smaller bites, I actually do. I'm not inhaling everything I eat. Try to take smaller portions so my stomach wouldn't get as big. I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a good place with my body and my health at the moment. Obviously it's not like 100% like I said. I'm happy for what it's at right now, because I used to weigh like 12 pounds more than I do now. I don't know why it took me this long to do it, but I'm actually doing something about it now before it's too late, because I don't want to keep eating junk food and then have issues later on when I'm like 40 or 50. I started eating junk food when I was 13. I kind of stopped actually like eating junk food, like not as often and rarely now, when I was like 24, and I'm 25 now. So it's been a few months since I actually changed my diet. It's still hard, like I said, and I still have urges, like I'm sure everyone else has urges with food and all that stuff. Or just as tempted to have the food that you used to have, but now you don't. I mean, I guess I'm handling it okay. It's not like I'm craving junk food all the time. I want other things like fruit and other options that I should try that I haven't tried before. So that's nice. I feel like I'm doing a lot better than I used to. The other good thing is I haven't gotten sick in a while. I don't know if it's because of that. Last time I got sick was maybe 2 or so years ago. It's been a long time since I've been sick, and I'm very thankful and happy that I haven't gotten sick. I still think it's because of my diet and all that stuff, because before I didn't exercise and change my eating habits, I got sick, so I would still think it's because of this. So that was my weight loss experience slash journey video so far, because I am still trying to lose more weight and feel better in my body. I hope you guys enjoyed. I guess this is something I've wanted to talk about for a while. Let me know in the comments if you guys are also dealing with this as well. If you guys are trying to lose weight, and what you guys are trying to do to lose weight, and how it has changed you from who you were before you lost weight to who you are now. Because I know people feel a whole lot different than they used to, and they feel better about themselves. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, Rosies!